Good afternoon and welcome to Tortilla Talk. I'm your host, Dylan, and with me today is Dallas and Nick. Dallas, how are we doing today?
Doing good, Dylan. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, glad to have you on, Dallas. Nick, how are you?
I'm back. I'm out, baby. I'm out of the hospital. Clean shaved, got a fresh new haircut. Woo! Hospital can't keep me down. Thanks for all the well wishes, everyone. I appreciate it. All 5 of you.
There we go, Nick. We're glad to have you back. Glad to see that you're doing better. Well, guys, we'll jump right in. We had quite a week in college basketball. We got a lot of topics to cover. Unfortunately, I'm going to start on a bad note. Our Red Raiders took quite the beating at home from our hated rivals, the Texas Longhorns, 81-69. Dallas, I'll start with you. How are we going to spin this one?
I mean, Warren Washington was out, so nothing counts when he's out.
Okay.
So that's obvious, and we're clearly their Super Bowl. I
like that.
Their worst players to try to take out our arguably best player left on the court, Darian Williams. The last podcast I saw it coming that Brock Cunningham was going to leave the game with 13 minutes left. Took him a little longer, but he made up with it with a flagrant 2 foul. So, hey.
Yeah, good prediction. Very good prediction. You were almost spot on with that one. Nick, what are your thoughts after that game? How are you feeling? Kind of give me your spin zone. Dallas gave a pretty good one there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Dallas. Any game that Warren doesn't play, I think we both said this on the last podcast. If Warren's not in, we're in trouble. Our other guys just aren't doing it without him. He just facilitates the ball so well from that post position. We need him if we want to make some serious noise. Without him, it just doesn't work. To Dallas's point too, Brock Cunningham, okay, that was kind of wild, not necessary. UT people will tell you it's fine. Whatever. Don't get me wrong. Not they're throwing stuff on the court's not fine either. But I'll tell you this: after the game, seeing all these comments from UT people, dude, that's just like wild to me. Talking about being their Super Bowl. Oh my goodness. Some of these comments, dude, like just bizarre. So it's been funny to see. It reminded me of old Tech and Tortilla days when we were talking about, the times we went to the games and we had, car batteries thrown at us and thing and Molotov cocktails, which is all true. Just super funny to me that, it reminded me of that, seeing all the answers on Twitter about how, that couldn't have happened. Duh. But, UT fans, they get riled up.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. My mythical make-believe wife was blown up by a Molotov cocktail at the last Texas game I went to, so you never forget. It's stuff that sticks with you for life. But there's a few things I wanted to touch on there that you talked about. So with Washington out, I mean, Disu he just killed us. No one could guard him. No one could stop him. So to your guys' point, like when Washington's out, we are very wounded. There's not much we can do. Our backups, when it comes to defense, like, yeah, you can play hard, but when the guy across from you is just a lot longer, and I mean, you're going to feel that. And then the Brock thing. I mean, so this guy's played more years than he has wins against Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
been ejected or fouled out of more games than he's won against Texas Tech in over half a decade. So that's pretty impressive.
So I want to be fair. Let's be fair, right? Two things can be true here. Brock Cunningham, that's his name?
Yeah, I think that's
right.
Cool.
Brock Cunningham, dirty player, not a good dude, right? That can be true. And I will also say something true for UT. If they were able to play like the way they play when Texas Tech makes them mad, they would be a very good team. So, but again, we joke around where they're Super Bowl. They seem to get really pissed off when they play us all the time. and they don't bring that same energy up. Like, why do they get pissed off at us? And then they play lights out. We didn't have Warren, but I mean, you don't see them playing like that against other opponents. So maybe if they just focused that hard every day, then they would be an Elite Eight team, But it's just, I mean, two things can be true. They definitely love to try to beat us, because I guarantee they're going to go out and lose one of these last games, and it's not going to be the same effort that you saw last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, and we'll get our payback hopefully in the Big 12 tournament. I don't want to leave them on with that taste in our mouth, right? But again, another game where the guards kind of struggled a little bit. I know Pop ended up putting up 17, right? But we're going to have him get his shooting together, right, Dallas, if we're going to succeed.
Yeah, I think I saw that he's now on the worst shooting streak from 3 in Big 12 history, which is pretty remarkable. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know he's going through a lot off the court with, stuff that happened earlier in the season or may not have happened, and his dad battling cancer. So it's easy to be hard on the guy in the moment. But he's just got to get in the gym and find whatever he's lost over the past month. And some of that might just be Warren Washington being out and him not being able to play off the pick and roll with him. Who knows? Who knows what's going on between his ears? Maybe he thinks he has to do too much. But, yeah, we're not going to win a lot of games when he starts the game 0 for 10.
Nope. No, we're not. All right, that's the last thing we'll talk about Texas. I'm over them. Like I said, we'll get our revenge later. But I want to move on to West Virginia, our opponent this weekend. Dallas, I'll throw it back to you because you had quite the stuff to say earlier. So you're a little worried about their height, aren't you?
So that was that was before. Come on, man.
But
don't be airing it out like that.
No, yeah, if Washington can't play, Jesse Edwards is going to be an issue. I think you've got to kind of go with really the only lineup that's somewhat worked since Washington's been out, and that's the small ball lineup with Williams at the 5. He's big and physical enough to not get back down to the rim. Obviously, he's just getting shot over like what Disu did all of last game. But if they throw it down to Jesse Edwards, I think you got to just bring the double team and then scramble out of it. But I'm just praying Washington gets back, because if we start dropping games to teams like West Virginia and Oklahoma State, then we're going to quickly approach the bubble.
Yeah, Nick, give me the positive outlook on this. We're going to crush West Virginia, right?
Yeah, we're going to win. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried. Here's what I'll tell you, Dill. That small ball, so Warren will be back. He's healthy. It's great. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And if he's not, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Next thing, that small ball lineup will work, okay? Dylan Disu is a very good player. Again, we can talk crap about UT. They're not a bad team, right? So Dylan Disu, good player. You saw he started missing at the end of the game. Doesn't matter if there was some high emotion going on. Doesn't matter. Started missing. The West Virginia boys will not be as good. So they will miss more, okay? Small ball will work. We're going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
Good. That's the positive outlook I needed for this one.
Well, thank God I'm out of the hospital, because I thought I was going to die the other day, and I don't know if I had that positivity in me. So I'm back.
Yeah. There we go. All right. We'll go on to another thing in college basketball that I saw. It's probably one of the most heroic things I would say that I've seen. It was the comeback performance of a lifetime. I'm talking, you had someone, Kyle Filipowski, suffer a horrific injury while pushing an innocent student to the ground. Couldn't have been, he was so hurt that we weren't sure if it was his knee, his foot, his ankle. Like it was
All
just
three.
that bad. It was just that bad of an injury. But man, a couple days later, he comes out and he puts up 9, 10, and 6 in one of the most heroic performances of a lifetime. I'll throw it to you, Nick. Where does this rank in all-time comeback performances? I mean, this is pretty amazing stuff, right?
I mean, it's right up there with that time that LeBron fake hurt his hamstring. Up there with the time that Paul Pierce pooped his pants. I mean, it's one of the great comebacks I've ever seen. Kurt Schilling's bloody sock.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
No, I agree. Dallas, this was some miracle stuff here, right, Dallas? This is kind of like turning water into wine.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to give credit to the Duke medical staff. They must have performed some kind of miracle operation to save his leg.
Dallas, may I?
Yes.
One more? Dylan, the Duke medical staff was almost as good as when those soccer guys come out with the spray and spray the part that hurts.
Yes.
And then these guys get up.
Have we determined what's in that spray yet?
I think Michael's secret stuff.
The secret stuff
is the base.
Okay.
But almost as amazing. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was going to say the only thing I can compare it to is when I tweaked my ankle in rec league basketball in 2015. And I came back in the game and hit one of 2 free throws to cut the lead to 8 points. That doesn't get talked about enough in these kind of conversations. So I just wanted to bring that up.
I remember that.
I try to bring that up anytime anyone talks to me about anything. So I'm glad that you brought it up on this platform so everyone could understand how heroic that truly was.
Thank you.
But yeah, guys, it goes up there as one of the best comeback performances. I just needed to make sure that we got to talk about that. You know, you see all these monsters in these court stormings, and I'm glad that someone could come back from such a tragic event and all out. So good for him. But hey, we'll move on. We all know our real opinions on that. We'll go on to one of the best things I've seen also, guys. There's a guy, young man, big boy from Indiana State named Robbie Avila. But you guys don't know him as that name because he is trending on Twitter with his nickname Kareem Abdul Jabbar. He just dropped 35 points on Evanston in a big win for Indiana State. Guys, first I want your thoughts on that. Nick, that nickname is, if you were playing college basketball and you were called Kareem Abdul Jabbar, oh my God, you have to have the biggest ego. That's the best name ever, right?
Kareem Abdul Jabbar. And yes, he's named Kareem because if you look at him, he is hasty, white. And this kid is very slow. And his moves, to call them methodical, would be a very polite thing to say. But darn it, does he score the basketball. He puts that thing in the hoop, and it is just a sight to behold. He's got the old school goggles on. He's a treat. He's a treat.
Yeah, no, he is. Dallas, I'll throw it over to you. Is that one of the best nicknames you've ever heard?
Yeah, and I think we're doing this whole NIL thing a disservice if Duke's Mayo does not sponsor him immediately, because that just seems like the perfect combination where a great product like Duke's Mayo with their Duke's Mayo Bowl and all that goes that can combine with such a great young athlete.
Yeah.
Or during Halloween season, any Cadbury cream-filled eggs.
Man.
Anything.
Yeah, that guy, he looks like a bag of mayo, so I'm glad that you said that, Dallas.
That was too harsh, Dylan.
That guy. But hey, he put 35 up in a Division I college basketball game, so say what you want.
Where are you buying bags of mayo?
Dukes.
Dukes? Do they sell by
Dukes
the bag?
comes in a pouch, yeah.
Well, I guess a pouch, but I don't know if I've seen a bag.
Well, you're not thinking big enough.
Like, well, Dallas, if you haven't seen one, just look at this young kid from Indiana State.
He could be the face of their new product.
You guys are laughing. I want Texas Tech to take a look at him.
Oh, I wish.
Get him to the Big 12.
Yeah. And this segment was brought to you by Duke's Mayo. It's delicious mayo. Please go ahead and get your hands on some Duke's Mayo.
Yeah, bad.
Duke's is a sponsor. Big news.
We'll go ahead and move on. So, guys, there's even more rumblings about college football playoff expansion. I feel like we talk about this almost every week, but there's always an update, right? So Ross Dellinger reported that there is a proposed new format with 14 teams. I'm going to go ahead and kind of break down what that looks like, guys. So to start, the Big Ten and SEC would have exclusive rights to first-round buys. So it don't matter if our beloved Red Raiders finish ranked number 1. They wouldn't get a bye because the Big Ten and SEC have the exclusive rights. Next, the Big Ten and SEC both get 3 automatic bids each. Big 12 and ACC would get 2. And then the best group of 5, so highest ranked group of 5 team would get an automatic bid, leaving 3 at-large bids. So I'll go ahead and throw it over to you, Nick. How does this format sit with you? Do you feel like this would be a good change?
The only thing that's annoying is the first-round buys already being decided. There needs to be a clause that if the number 1 ranked team from the Big 12, then they should get the bye. Because here's the thing, they control who's ranked number 1. So either don't make a Big 12 or an ACC, basically just say Big 12 and ACC, you guys can't be ranked number 1, sorry. Or don't make the rule. It's a weird thing because at the end of the day, like, they can control that pretty easily. So I don't necessarily understand. Don't tell me they can't. So I don't understand that. Everything else I'm okay with. I like that the Big 12 gets 2 automatic bids. I think the way that that's formatted, we would end up getting 3 teams in. Dallas, we looked at that. The odds were pretty favorable for us to get 3 teams in. So I like it. I just don't like that it's I mean, let's just say Texas Tech is number 1 overall in the nation. Let's just say, right?
Between us,
just kind of
say that.
Well, I'm just saying, let's just, hey, guess what? The games haven't been played yet, right? So I'm just going to say it. We're undefeated. So it's just crappy that now we wouldn't get a bye week. But that's how it works. We all knew it was coming. So that's how I feel.
Dallas, how do you feel about this new format?
This is so dumb. This is so ridiculous because, one, how can you be the SEC and Big Ten and toot your own horn constantly about how we're the best, we deserve the most seeds? So you're just going to get the most seed. Why do you need automatic bids if you're going to just get it? Well, what's the benefit to you of doing that? And if you are the SEC, especially the SEC instead of the Big Ten, I don't know why you would want this, because if you're expanding to 14, those are several automatic qualifiers that take up bids that other teams from your conference could potentially get. I mean, there's several years where Bama, Georgia, like an LSU or Tennessee lately, like, could be in those top 14 teams, but they might get pushed out because of some of these automatic bids.
Yeah, Dallas, Tennessee.
From that point, I don't mind Tech or the Big 12 being guaranteed 2 teams every year, but it doesn't make any sense to me. And also, are we just going to, in a couple more years, be like, okay, we need to go to 16 teams? Like, well, I don't know why we haven't even played a 12-team playoff, and we're already talking about changing up the format. We don't even know what this is going to look like.
Well, to be fair, Dallas, yeah, in order to get your Tennessee in there, we will have to go to 16 teams. So,
yeah, he does make a point. But I mean, Dallas, it's the old adage.
Tell your dad hello.
All right.
Oh, Scott, I know you're watching. Thank you. We appreciate you watching. Tennessee will be a power under this new format. But Dallas, it's the old adage: a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? So you can get. You like that, Nick? Put that
damn.
on a shirt. Put it with our logo right there. That's 6 guaranteed bids. So I think they're gonna say, okay, we'll take that. And if you have to think with the amount of talent in either of those two conferences, they're probably going to beat up on each other so much. They're like, hey, we'll rather just take some of these autos. But I get what you're saying, because you're taking away the chance for some of these other teams to potentially get into.
Well,
Either way.
Not going to beat up on each other. They only play 8 conference games.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But either way, I think they are just throwing their weight around to get whatever the heck they want. We knew this was going to happen. They played it masterfully. They convinced everyone that this 12-team format is what we initially all wanted. And now that they got there, they're like, hey, 14 sounds cool, and let's do this. And then to your point, hey, 16 sounds even cooler. So
it's going to be one of those classic things where they ask for everything under the sun, and then
break off.
They'll come back and be like, oh, actually, okay, we don't get the automatic buys now. Like, we're the heroes of giving lowly Big 12 and ACC schools a chance to do that. And then they'll do what Nick said and just not vote them in.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, if us other conferences, right, don't play ball, then they can just throw the weight around and say, all right, well, cool, we'll do our own playoff. And then that's when all of us are in nightmare scenario. No one wants anything.
Well, I think I'm going to say,
often.
I just saw the movie Dune, so I'm feeling a little rebellious. So bring it on, SEC. That's all I'll say. It's a great movie.
And this episode is brought to you by Dune.
Dune in theaters Thursday, February 29th. That's Dune. Timothy Chalamet, Florence Puig. Great film. Christopher Walken.
What happens when the Twitter impressions start rolling in when you piss off UT fans? You get these.
The Tech and Tortillas made it. The Tech and Tortilla boys made it on the backs of Toby Keith and angering fans. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and move on to this last topic. I'm sure some of you two, right, may have been a little confused when I said, hey, let's talk conspiracy theories today. Like, what the heck's he talking about? Well, turns out when you put a mic in front of a bunch of young kids at some combine events or some drills, they say some crazy, wild stuff. So
college kids say the darndest things.
They do. They say the darndest things, Nick. I'll start with our beloved Tyler Owens, our Red Raider. He doesn't believe in space and believes in some of the flat Earth theories. He didn't go all in on it, but he said he's starting to think about it, right? So I'll go ahead to you, Nick. What do you think of that?
What I think is you got to get your name out there, baby. And he found himself being talked about on Tech and Tortilla's Tortilla Talk today. So if you're getting talked about on this show, I'm thinking you made it. So you got to get your name out there, man. So and again, it's funny.
Yeah,
whatever.
I agree.
Well, what a UT fan would say is he went to Tech, so that's what we probably taught him.
Yeah, that's fair also.
Well, Nick, you know he went to school before Tech, right?
UT. That was his understudy classes at UT.
Yeah. That's true. We couldn't get it out of him.
Yeah.
So we can see the stars in Lubbock. It's there. He got so confused, all them brat lats in Austin.
Dallas, I'll throw to you is I mean, all publicity is good publicity, right? Is this good?
Look, how many of us in Tech and Tortillas have been to space?
Oh.
Bingo.
Who are we to say that, it's real?
I'm just a man. I'm just a grocer.
He's just a man. And so I'm not gonna cast judgment on a man because he doesn't believe in space or planets.
What about Splace?
That's a different conversation.
You did say Splace.
I didn't say Splace. We can dive deeper on Splace. I have some opinions on Splace, but
that's not for this show.
Yeah, but that's for a different show. So yeah, I'm not going to cast judgment on a man who says that something doesn't exist when I've never experienced it.
That's fair. I can only believe in what I've seen or been to, I guess. All right. Here's the other thing that I heard. So I started, that one's kind of tame. I mean, people believe that. Here's a better one, guys. So a guy named Tip Riemann, tight end from Illinois. I'm going to have to read you the quote because I just love this quote. He was quoted as saying, "Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? How do we know that power lines aren't pigeon recharge stations?" This guy doesn't believe in birds. So
did he specify birds or just pigeons?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe we are jumping the gun. Maybe it's just
because I've never seen a baby pigeon. I've seen other baby birds, but no pigeons. So where do they come from?
Yeah, no, that's fair, Dallas. I see you might side with both of these guys. Nick, I'll throw it to you. Is the government controlling birds?
So here's the thing about that. I've heard of this one from plenty of people, so it just makes me think he's just trying to be funny. And I don't appreciate it because I don't believe in pigeons. All right? And it feels like he's trying to make fun of me for not believing in them. But have you seen a baby pigeon? Dallas hasn't. Now, I don't live in New York where pigeons are from. But I look forward to seeing the movie that's coming out about pigeons. You ever seen that animated movie?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
Well, it's coming out soon. So,
is that Rio movie?
Yeah, I think so. So we'll see then. But until then, don't tell me what to believe.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm getting mad.
Don't melt steel beams, okay? That's all I'll leave it at.
Don't tread on me.
I don't know. Thinking about it, I haven't seen a baby pigeon. Maybe they live in Splace. I don't know.
Oh, God, he's on to us, Dallas. We got to get out of here.
So, you know what's funny? I planned on asking you guys about your favorite conspiracy theories, but it seems like Dallas already believes that space isn't real and Nick's big on pigeons.
No, I got a favorite one.
Oh, okay, go on.
You ever heard of Bigfoot?
Nick.
You're telling me, you're telling, I got two of them. You're telling me first that Bigfoot, all he is a big monkey. You're telling me that we've searched the whole forest for a Sam Squanch?
Are you talking about the interdimensional being that is Bigfoot?
Who's pushing the chip? That's what I want to know. So that's the first one. Bigfoot. Don't lie. He's got to be real. There's too many TV shows about him.
Fair.
Second one. You're telling me there ain't no megalodon in the ocean.
Oh, God.
Countless movies have been made about megalodon.
Yeah.
Dylan, we know more about space than we know about the deep ocean.
Space is
Dallas
real.
would beg
You
to
ever
differ.
heard of the Mariana Trench? You ever heard of the Mariana Trench?
I don't know. Mariana seems cool.
There's a layer that we can go underneath, and underneath there, that's where all the ancient monsters live.
It's probably where Splace is.
You would call that Splace, yes.
All right. That's fair. Dallas, I'll throw it to you. You have another conspiracy you want to give me?
Look, all I'll say about Splace is that No, I can't go there. I don't think
Dallas, they're not ready. The people aren't ready.
The pigeons are watching. He's got to be careful. All right, guys. We'll go ahead and reel it in because we could go for hours on Sam Squanch and the Mariana Trench and the Meg. So we'll go ahead and we'll call it quits here, guys.
Nick, did you just tell us the story for the movie The Meg? No.
That's the Meg 3. Sam Squanch's revenge.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you today. Thank you for watching and listening. Please go ahead. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us across all socials at Tech_Tortillas. Again, that is Tech_Tortillas. And guys, as always, guns up, wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.
Believers.
Splace.